What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is recap time for England versus South Africa that took place last night at a very passionate, proud Twickenham stadium. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the game, I mean the electricity within that stadium was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I was watching on the TV like majority of us, and you could feel it when Swing Low, who Jared sang. I couldn't help but get goosebumps. It was unbelievable. Anthems were amazing. When God Save the Queen happened, the crowd belted it to the best of their ability, and it truly was special. And then I got nervous because I thought, wow, the crowd's electric. It's going to pump the English. It's going to make it a really intense game. Now, overall, for me personally, besides the result, I thoroughly enjoyed this test match. I thought the teams gave it their absolute all. There were obvious errors. When I'm talking errors, I mean handling errors, shocking errors, but we'll get into that. But overall, it was an intense game. It was a test match. It was like we saw when South Africa played the All Blacks in Loftus. It was just intense. Second half, back and forth, but it truly was awesome. And I think it's what we could look forward to seeing in the World Cup. Close encounters, unlike the epic battle between New Zealand and Japan, with so many tries scored, over 100 points in the game, which is truly outstanding, as opposed to like a 12-11 point a game. You know, normally when you see such low results, you're like, oh, this is boring kind of thing. But it wasn't boring. It was absolutely intense. First half completely dominated by South Africa. Second half dominated by England. It was up and down, and obviously the score changed hands a few times in the second half as well, which really made it an epic contest. But you know, we can moan at Angus, we can moan at TMO, we can moan at the teams, but overall, for me personally, and I know people might disagree, we can't blame the ref on this situation. Right, let's talk about the penalty in the 82nd minute. For me personally, that was a penalty, clear as day. The shoulder went first. Yes, he had a slight grip, but shoulder first into Esterhuizen. So for me, that's an automatic penalty, if not a card. Similar occurrence happened in the Lions tour versus New Zealand when Sonny Bill Williams did the similar thing, and he got a red card. So there's my question mark for that. However, as you will see in the title, I said we can't blame the ref. Now, when I say blame the ref, everyone's saying that was the sole decision. That is what cost the Boxer game. Rightly so, but remember, Pollard still had to kick the kick. He had missed 2 in the game. Could he have kicked the kick over? Maybe. Maybe not. And also, remember the mistakes that happened in the start of the game, the line-out calls by Michael Marks. If that had happened, would we have been in the situation of that tackle from Owen Farrell? Would we have needed to really look so intensely on that one decision in the 82nd minute? We can't just blame one situation on a performance that cost the Springboks the game. For me personally, England deserved to win, and congratulations to them, because they kept their cool, they kept calm, they kept consistent, they were tackling well. I think it was 86%, but I'll go into stats now. But they just kept their cool. Where South Africa got a little bit, they got tired. There was big huffing and puffing from the boys. There were situations where we started missing tackles, when in the first half I think we only missed 1. And we just seemed to lose it. Pollard missed the try kick in the first half, and he missed the penalty that just shaded off, which was unfortunate. But it was a straighter kick, so for me that should have gone over. If they had kicked that over, we again might have not been in the situation that we were in at the 82nd minute. Remember, that's 82nd minutes. Yes, it could have won South Africa the game, but if we had done what we should have done, followed the procedures, less handling errors, we wouldn't have been in the situation, in my personal opinion. I agree it should have been a penalty. It could have been even a card maybe, but again, I'm looking from a South African point of view. English fans will be looking from their point of view, saying, no, it wasn't a foul, he gripped it, I think people from New Zealand, Australia, Ireland and all that stuff will have their own opinions, and rightly so. That's the game we love. But at the end of the day, it happened. It's gone. It's finished. We lost. Move forward. Now focus on what we need to do against France. England need to focus on what they need to do against England. Move on from the decision and focus on rebuilding, regrouping, and reanalyzing the game in order to improve and get better. So let's get to the first half of the game. South Africa, first half, dominated. They showed so much character. They were strong. They were running the ball okay. The kicking wasn't bad. And they made some clever moves. Enquiries, for me, was the star of the Springbok squad. I thought he was epic. His try was amazing. Obviously, it was a great teamwork try. I thought Delanda played an outstanding game. Yes, he knocked the ball on. Don't know why he was holding it with one hand. I thought that was quite silly because it cost us. But he had a great game. He was an impeccable force within the game. And the guy who really was the weakest, who I praised yesterday and I've been praising all the time, was Malcolm Marx. Now, I know we're all human and we're allowed to have a bad game. This maybe was his bad game. But he for me, cost us the game. Yes, we can blame ref, but for me, I'm going at Malcolm Marx on this one. Because not once line out overthrow, but two. Then he's threw another one that lost the line out. Now, you could say you could blame your line out jumpers. Say they didn't have much time or they didn't calculate the situation correctly. Fine, let's talk about that. But when you overthrow twice to give the ball back to the opposition, I mean, that's not happened. This isn't the first time it's happened. It happened in the Rugby Championship as well, and that started to worry me. I've always said it, from Marx as a player, he's outstanding, he's one of the best hookers, but his throwing worries me, and once again, that showed last night, and it cost us the game. We were right on the try line 3 times, and we lost the ball. I was messaging my friend who was staying in Botswana for work, and I kept going back to him and said, Marx made another error. Marx made another error. And unfortunately, that cost us the game. If we had scored... Personally, South Africa should have had 3 tries within that first half. Bar down. And those are the 3 that we missed. Should have had. That needed to happen. But we didn't capitalize. Secondly, I have a problem with, it was the handling errors from the Springboks. It just wasn't right. We were losing the ball. We start off so well and we're getting so close. And we just couldn't do it. We couldn't finish it off. It was like what the Sharks used to play in the Super Rugby a few years ago. They would dominate and get so close to the try line and then lose the ball. It seems to be a South African thing, this. And Russia needs to find a way in order to keep these boys calm. When we play against New Zealand, we're outstanding. But when we play in situations like England and other teams, we just seem to fumble the ball a bit, which for me is not right. It's not good. It's not healthy. We need to work on this, otherwise France are going to hit us and Wales are going to hit us. Now we're going to second half for me, which was a really epic game, and credit to Eddie Jones in England. They came back and showed up. You know, I was expecting this from them. I expected this. This was a total different team since what we saw in June. And also, guys, remember, and this is where I'm going to give England again credit, is the injury list that they have. They are missing Joe, and all those boys. They are missing talented players, and the fact that they could still pull out such a great, intense performance was impressive, especially in the second half. They had the second half to them. South Africa lost it. Like I said, tackle rates were very similar. I think it was 96% to 91%, and then second half South Africa dropped to 82% and started missing tackles, which for me is not good. It shows we lost it a bit. We couldn't keep our cool. And if you want to win the World Cup, you've got to be able to play full halves. You've got to play 82 and a half or 83, 84 minutes of rugby. Otherwise, teams like England, Ireland, Wales, the All Blacks, France, and all these other countries will beat you. We need to work on that as a team. And England just showed up. May had an outstanding game. He was a real strong player. Owen Farrell was really brilliant. Besides his tackle at the end, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was strong. His boot was not too bad. Yes, he missed that one kick that was just short. But, I mean, he was still on point. It was still straight. He really is an outstanding rugby player, and I think fly-off maybe suits him better. Obviously, my English subscribers will know better, but for me, he looked very comfortable last night, opposed to what we saw in June. He looked strong, and he looked passionate. He didn't look as miserable. He just looked like he wanted to win, and that's the key in order to win these games. You've got to have the right attitude, intensity within if you want to win a game. Plain and simple for me. 3 points that I want to just highlight that really stood out for me for the game, and things that I've learned from this game was Box missed Leroux and Faf de Klerk. Now, Damian Willemse really had a good game. His catches from the high ball were quite impressive. He had a good run every now and then. He was not bad at all. But we did miss the leadership or the strength and the experience of Willie Leroux. We definitely did. Van Zyl had his moments. He made me nervous because sometimes he's busy. As he's about to pass the ball, he's too busy pointing. I'm going to go to you. I'm going to go to you. And then he takes his time and then passes. You can't do that because then the team are going to come up and flatten you. And we're going to lose the ball. It happened a few times. I must say, when Papier came on, he was quick. He was alert. And I thought I was impressed with him. But we missed Faf de Klerk. We missed the pocket rocket. We missed the quickness of him. We missed the skill, the run, the cockiness, the attitude, the passion, even the kicking part of you. We missed that from Faf. Van Zyl kicked too far in certain instances. We missed those boys, and it was a big one for us. Other than that, what else do I have here? England's back row was immense in defence, and credit to them. They were truly strong, passionate. I mean, they couldn't let us get to the try line, and pressure kicked on. We just couldn't hold it on. And then I've got here Farrell, steady hands, integral to England's victory. He really was the star for me in that game. I just thought he had an outstanding game. A lot of the other players in England did well, but for me, May and Farrell really were true champions with the ball. If we look at quick stats here, possession of the full game, 59% to the Springboks, territory 64-36 to the Springboks. That's epic. And once again, we've said this when South Africa played New Zealand and New Zealand played Argentina, vice versa. The stats mean nothing really, because the result is at the end of the day what matters and what happens. And clearly, once again, South Africa are dominant within the possession and territory, but we couldn't win the game. And that for me is quite amazing that stats like that occur. I mean, like I said, tackles we dropped down and all that stuff. So overall, I'm disappointed within the Springboks. I'm proud of some of the efforts that they've provided, but I'm disappointed that we let opportunities go. We let 3 tries disappear that should have been tries. And we allowed England to capitalise, which they did, and rightly so, and they deserved it. Congratulations to England, congratulations to Eddie Jones. You could see how much it meant to them. You could see how much it meant to him as a coach. It would have given him a little bit of a breathe out kind of thing. Let's focus now on the big one, which is New Zealand, which is going to be, I think, an epic contest. I think New Zealand are obviously on another level at the moment, but if England go in with the same intensity and strength, they might give them, the All Blacks, a run for their money, but it's going to be hard. As for Springboks going towards France, you know, it's always a tough contest in France. We seem to always have a little bit of a struggle here and there. We can beat them. We just need to capitalise, and that for me is the important thing. South Africa capitalised on opportunities, gain momentum, score tries when we should score tries, then we've got no problem at winning the game. But we need to do it. These errors need to be worked on. They need to start cleaning up, and things need to happen within what we're going to do. I think Willie comes back, if I'm not mistaken, but Faf obviously won't come back. But for me, I might even test it. Put in Papier, start him, then put Van Zyl on the bench, or even bring in Schroeder from the Sharks. In fact, I would have him on because he won the Currie Cup, so for me you'll have the confidence in going forward. And just another question on the point of hooker. Schalk Brits is nowhere to be seen. He's obviously in the squad, but if Akko van der Merwe was there, Rassie would have a very good backup when we need to change things up a bit in order to maybe give Marks a bit more confidence, or give Bongi a rest, or even Marks a rest, to test things out, like when we play against Italy, and all that stuff. So for me, things need to happen. We need to catch a wake up, and show improvement, because it's going to be hectic. I'm quite nervous for the next few games. It's going to be epic, but South Africa need to catch a wake up. But it's going to be awesome stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Disappointed and angry with the result, but I'm sure the Boks will bounce back. And well done again to England supporters. I see already a few guys have commented on the previous video, so congratulations to you guys. Credit where credit is due. You were the better team at the end of the day. South Africa just couldn't capitalize, and if they're wanting to win the World Cup, they need to shake things up a bit, or we are going to get booted. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification, so you're always notified for when future uploads will come up. Obviously, the recap for the overall November internationals for week 1 with New Zealand, Ireland, all those teams will be coming out soon as well, so make sure you subscribe for that, and I'll see you guys real soon. Busy week next week with all the videos coming up. I'm going to do more single game analysis with New Zealand, obviously, and England, and all that stuff, so make sure you are subscribed and tuned in. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend further. I know it's nearly over for some of you, but enjoy the day further, and I'll see you real soon for another video. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.